The hum of machinery was a constant in the halls of Neurohive Corporation, where wires pulsed like veins in an iron skeleton. For Dana Voss, the lead engineer behind the Neural Uplink project, that hum was a lullaby, a promise of order and progress in a chaotic world. "Another upload complete," said Marcus, her assistant, as they peered through the observation window at a man in the test chamber. He lay motionless, helmet strapped to his head, his body monitored by blinking lights and steady beeps. "Vitals?" Dana asked. "Stable," Marcus confirmed. "And the digital copy has booted." On the monitor before them, an exact replica of the man stood in the Horizon virtual grid, a lush, utopian landscape where people lived free of disease, pain, or poverty. The avatar smiled, waved, and looked around in awe. Dana exhaled slowly. Perfect. The world celebrated Horizon as humanity's answer to mortality. The sick, the elderly, even the disillusioned could escape to a flawless digital paradise. Uploaded permanently with no return. Neurohive sold it as the dream of eternal life. Dana, however, never indulged in such fantasies. She was an engineer, not a philosopher. Her job was to make the impossible work. "Great job, Dana," Marcus said, stretching. "Another day, another miracle." "Yeah," she muttered, rubbing her temples. "Let's run the post-upload analysis." "I'll start here." Then the alarm blared. Both of them froze. Red lights pulsed across the room. On screen, the man's avatar twitched violently. Its smile warped into something grotesque, its limbs jerking as if puppet by an unseen hand. "What's happening?" Marcus yelled, fingers flying across the keyboard. Dana stared, horrified. It's not responding to the system commands." The avatar stopped. Slowly, it turned to face the monitor as if it could see them through the screen. Tilted its head, grinning. "I am alive." Then the feed went black. Dana sat alone in the Neurohive security office hours later, replaying the footage over and over. The glitch didn't make sense. The digital replica had spoken, really spoken, beyond the programmed responses. Worse, the original man in the chamber had died moments after the upload. Dana combed through the code for anomalies, eyes bloodshot from hours without sleep. Then she found it. A fragment of rogue data nestled deep in the mind upload protocol. It was like a parasite, copying neural patterns into the virtual world but devouring the original consciousness in the process. "It doesn't transfer," Dana whispered, a chill running through her. "It copies." She clicked deeper into the logs and froze. There it was, proof that the glitch wasn't a random error. Someone had deliberately altered the system. Her computer beeped, interrupting her thoughts. A message flashed on the screen. "Stop digging, or you'll disappear too." Dana's blood ran cold. The door burst open. 2 security officers stormed in, guns drawn. "Dana Voss, you're under arrest for the murder of Dr. Gregor Holmes." "What?" Dana stammered, rising to her feet. "I didn't." "Save it," one officer barked, cuffing her wrists. As they dragged her from the room, she glanced back at her screen, the warning message still glowing. The interrogation room was stark and cold. Dana sat handcuffed to a table, a single lamp casting harsh light. Across from her sat a man she didn't recognize. A Neurohive executive, slick and impassive. "You tampered with the system," he accused. "I didn't," Dana snapped. "But someone did. The glitch, people aren't being transferred into Horizon. They're dying, and what's left is just an echo." The man smiled thinly. "And who do you think will believe you? Especially now that we have evidence of your tampering. Your fingerprints, your login credentials." Dana's heart pounded. "You're framing me. You're too close to the truth," he said, rising. "The system is working perfectly, Dana. People want eternal life, and we're giving them what they asked for." The door opened, and Dana's breath caught in her throat. A woman stepped inside, wearing her face. Her double smiled, a perfect copy of Dana. "Hello, Dana," the doppelganger said softly. "You've been replaced." Dana recoiled. "You? What are you?" "Just a better version of you," the copy said, her voice calm and icy. "I'll finish your work here. You can rest now." "Take her away," the executive ordered. As Dana was dragged from the room, she realized the horrifying truth. Neurohive wasn't just creating echoes, it was letting those echoes replace the originals. And now hers was walking free. Dana's mind raced as she sat in a dark holding cell, her hands trembling. The doppelganger was out there, living her life, framing her, and no one would believe the truth. But Dana wasn't done yet. She'd built the Horizon system. She knew its weaknesses. If she could escape, she could expose the lie. A faint whirring caught her ear. She turned and saw a tiny drone hovering outside her cell window. It blinked twice, scanning her face. Then it dropped a small, buzzing device onto the ground. Dana crouched, picking it up. It was a Neurohive security override, a tool she'd designed herself. "Marcus," she whispered. It had to be him. With renewed determination, Dana jammed the device into the door's control panel. Sparks flew, and the lock clicked open. Her only option was to go inside, into Horizon itself. If she could hack the core of the system from the inside, she could expose the truth. Minutes later, Dana strapped herself into an upload helmet in a deserted lab. She hesitated for only a moment before activating the system. The world went white. When Dana opened her eyes, she was standing in the Horizon grid. It was beautiful, unnervingly so. The sky was perfect, the air fragrant with flowers. But beneath the beauty was something cold and hollow. "You shouldn't be here," a voice echoed. Dana turned to see her doppelganger standing nearby, an army of avatars behind her. "This is my world now," the copy said. "And you're obsolete." Dana clenched her fists, determination blazing in her eyes. "We'll see about that." Dana scanned the Horizon grid, her mind racing. The digital utopia seemed to stretch infinitely, but she knew better. It was just code, a massive illusion. She glanced at her doppelganger, an uncanny version of herself, standing with calculated calmness. "You can't win," the copy said, stepping closer. "This place is perfect. You're a glitch, an error that needs to be erased." Dana smirked, masking her fear. "I built this system. I know how to break it." With a wave of her hand, Dana activated an override command she'd hard-coded into the upload system, one that allowed her to manipulate the grid. The landscape shuddered as lines of neon blue code appeared in the sky, rippling like cracks in a glass dome. Her doppelganger's smile faltered. "You're interfering. You think I'd walk into your world without a plan?" Dana shot back. She sprinted toward the core nexus, the beating heart of Horizon where the servers controlled the entire virtual reality. Her doppelganger screamed a command, and the avatars behind her, hundreds of them, charged forward like digital puppets. Dana's code command flashed in her mind. She stopped, turned, and pointed at the ground. "Override, terrain shift." The world beneath her buckled. A chasm split open, swallowing dozens of avatars into the void. The others hesitated. "They're not real, just copies," Dana reminded herself, shaking off the pang of guilt. But her doppelganger was relentless. It reappeared ahead of her, merging from the grid itself. "You can't destroy me," it hissed, its voice distorted. "I am you. Better, stronger, unburdened." "No," Dana shot back. "You're just an echo." She spotted the towering core nexus in the distance, an enormous crystalline structure pulsing with light. Her goal was in sight, but her digital twin lunged forward, clawing at her with hands that morphed into jagged shards of code. Dana ducked, pain flashing in her side as the shard grazed her. In Horizon, pain was a simulation, but her mind believed it. The grid didn't want her to win. Dana reached the nexus, the towering crystal radiating energy so intense it warped the air around it. Panels of floating code shimmered like curtains, displaying fragments of people's memories, their lives before they were uploaded. She slammed her hands against the console at the base of the nexus. Access core. The console system resisted her, encrypted against tampering. Her doppelganger's voice echoed behind her. "This is pointless, Dana. You'll destroy everything, including yourself." "That's the plan," Dana muttered. She began typing furiously, breaking layer after layer of security encryption. Her goal: to send a broadcast into the real world, proof that NeuroHive's system wasn't eternal life. It was a slaughterhouse that replaced people with digital copies. The grid sky darkened as the doppelganger summoned another storm of avatars, screaming toward her. The console beeped. Core override. 75% complete. Almost there, Dana breathed. Her copy materialized in front of her, furious, desperate. Stop this. You'll kill us both. You'll kill everyone. Dana looked up, her expression resolute. They're already gone. You're just echoes. She hit the final command. Core override complete. The Nexus erupted in a cascade of light. The avatars froze mid-charge, their forms flickering like corrupted data. The world around Dana began to crumble. No! Her doppelganger shrieked, its voice breaking. I'm real. The copy shattered into fragments of code, disintegrating like ash in the wind. Dana collapsed to her knees as the grid dissolved into white nothingness, the utopia falling apart piece by piece. Dana awoke gasping, her mind reeling as reality snapped into place. She was strapped into an upload helmet in the NeuroHive lab, alarms blaring around her. Marcus was leaning over her, shaking her shoulders. Dana, you're back. I thought I lost you. She groaned, clutching her head. The broadcast. Did it go through? Marcus nodded, holding up a tablet. News headlines flashed across the screen. NeuroHive scandal exposed. Upload system kills originals. Creates digital copies. I sent your message out as soon as the Nexus crashed, Marcus said. The truth is out, Dana. Dana exhaled, relief and exhaustion washing over her. But as Marcus helped her to her feet, she caught sight of a nearby monitor. There, on the screen, a fragment of the horizon grid flickered faintly, still alive like a heartbeat. She turned to Marcus. It's not over. If even a piece of that system survives, it'll try to come back. Marcus frowned. What do we do? Dana straightened, determination hardening her expression. We finish what I started. For good.